What's going on, everybody? I'm back to do another reaction style video. And before I get into it, let me give a huge shout out to Nicole's View because this is coming from her. She has no idea that I'm making this video, but I saw it on her page and I said, let me go ahead and actually entertain this. So anyone who knows Nicole's View knows that she is a huge Michael Jackson fan, as am I. And we are both, and I think the world is looking forward to the biopic that is slated to come out in October. But the reason why I'm doing this reaction style video today is because there's this video that's on TikTok from this woman. I don't know her name, but her username is From the People's Studios. And she claims that she was an extra on the Michael Jackson biopic set. And she claimed that it was toxic on the set. I have no clue in which way that it was toxic. But according to the caption that Nicole's V put up there, she said allegedly an extra from the new MJ biopic called the set extremely toxic, amongst other things. And then she says Lord at the end. So I can only imagine what this woman had to say. So we're going to go ahead and react to this video. And of course, you know, with it being reaction style, I always got to give the disclaimer. There will be pauses in here where I give my take on certain things if I feel like I have to insert myself into the equation. Just letting people know what it is. So as you can see right here, this is her. And she says the new Michael Jackson biopics film set was horrible. And she put horrible in all caps in toxic. So let's see what they are talking about.
So I was an extra on the new Michael Jackson biopic film that's coming out. And let me tell you, that was the most toxic set. Let me just tell you in general, I've been on a lot of sets. I was on How I Met Your Mother, all these Mad Men, who cares? It's funny.
Okay, already she sound like, I don't know what that sound was, but already she sounds like, I don't know if she's tired or if she's under the influence or whatever the case may be. But that sound effect that she was doing was kind of creepy.
Pretend for a living. And the way that Hollywood and all these big sets take everything, they act like they're performing heart surgery about every little thing. They wouldn't let us have our phone. Not like when you're on set, like when you're actually on the soundstage. Fair, absolutely not. Like you shouldn't have your phone. I understand, like not wanting to like think that, whatever. In holding, which is what they call for like extras. Yeah, like holding, like cattle, herding, holding. And they treat you like cattle, by the way. They would not let us have our cell phone. And so people would like bring cards or whatever. And they were so mean about it. Like anyone caught with any device will be sent home.
Well, it's their set, it's their rules. Not every set might be different. Now, let me just go ahead and insert myself in here right quick. I have worked on movie and film sets before, big productions and small ones or independent ones as well. One universal thing when it comes to their policy, and like I said, it might be different things when it comes to the various things, is definitely that phone one. Most sets have a strict non-phone policy. I know what she's talking about when she's talking about keeping them in holding as an extra. They do keep you like in an area where it's just a bunch of extras all in one spot, and they keep you there until you're called and they need you. And let me tell you something right now. As people who probably never worked on a film set before, it is a lot of downtime. It is a lot of waiting. You have to have a lot of patience, and it's usually an all-day thing. Be fortunate if you have to only be on the set for 3 hours, which was the case for me a couple years ago. Well, not even a couple years ago, but over a decade ago when I did an episode of that show House of Cards on Netflix. On the very first episode, we was only on the set for 3 hours, but it was early in the morning. Like we was there and we had to beat the sun because it was an outside shoot. But yeah, if they don't want you to have your phone, then you should not have your phone. And she's getting up here and she's making a big deal about the phone situation. And I wouldn't be surprised if they are the only ones that's having this issue. And I find it interesting that they're now coming out and saying this now ahead of the movie coming out all the way in October. Like I'm telling you, they're going to probably try to pull out all the stops they can to try and sabotage this movie. It's not like it wouldn't have already happened before. They're probably scared of what this movie is going to do. They already projected this movie is going to make $1 billion. The people overseas are ready for it. The people in the States are ready for it. You know, it's unfortunate that they pushed the date back from April to October, but I think the reason it is because they want to better their Oscar chances, because this is definitely a film that they're going to definitely submit for the award season come 2026. And because October, thriller, Halloween, why not? So I feel like that's what they're doing. So the phone situation, a strict policy. If they and here's usually how the policy goes, they will either want the phone off completely. Usually, typically want the phone always to be off. Or when you're getting ready to go on set, you leave the phone in the area where it's holding. There's going to be somebody there to watch to make sure that no one comes in there. I know this because I've left my phone in holding before, and I came back and my phone was still there. I even, for good measure, turned the phone off. And there have been times when I have been on the set where I had my phone in my pocket, but guess what? My phone was still turned off. The ladies, if y'all have a prop where the phone has, and it's a purse, you could put the phone in the purse, but make sure that the phone is off. Don't put it in your shirt. Don't tuck it away in your bra. None of that. Just have the phone off. If they want the phone off, even in holding, just don't have it. That's pretty much it. And the thing is, it's not like they didn't tell the people what it was, because usually when you apply for these positions, to do this stuff, there's usually a policy in place right there to tell you that. Maybe she didn't read that policy.
And you will be banned from ever working on this lot. And it was just like so toxic. And then you had to like sign your phone in there and then sign it out when you left.
Okay. Yeah, I kind of figured that too. They just want to, they have to take, because this is a huge movie right here. It's a lot being poured into this. This is a big deal about one of the, if not the biggest entertainer that ever lived. They want to make sure everything is taken care of very smoothly. And I'm not surprised you mentioned about the signing in and signing out of your phone. So basically you have to hand it over to them, and then, you sign it, you give it to them. They'll put your signature and everything to make sure that it's yours. And then when you get ready to leave, you go and sign it out and they give you the phone back. It's just a security measure. That's really all it is, because you can't take any chances when it comes to situations like these. You do not want any leaks to get out. And so far, nothing to my knowledge has been leaked from this film. So they're doing a good job of that. So it looks like their policy worked. And that's really all it boils down to. They just want to make sure they're protecting their investment. That's all it is.
And I was like, absolutely not. I have a son. He's at school. If there's an emergency, I need my phone. Like, it's just a holding area. It's a big, just like giant soundstage. There's nothing to take pictures of except your.
And that's what they're also scared of. If you have your phone and you call somebody, what's to say that you're actually speaking? Like she said, she has a son. Who's to say that you can say that, and then they might think you're calling someone and telling them about what you're doing on this set, or you're telling people about what's going on. Or taking pictures. They don't even want you taking pictures of you in holding. That's why a lot of times when it comes to films, the stars of the film, they're not allowed to talk about the film until after the first trailer has dropped. That's usually the policy. That's why do you think anyone who's attached to this film has not spoken about it yet? There's not any press around it yet, because a teaser hasn't even been dropped. Now, once a teaser drops, then that's when you can start to slowly talk about the film. That's when the press run will eventually start to roll out. Not any time before then. And that's typically how it works. See, like I said, she's saying she has a son. What if it's an emergency? But to them, they probably will not take that completely seriously, because they might be like, she could just be saying that. Who is she really talking to on this phone? And again, they wouldn't want you taking pictures while you're on the set or anything like that. But then again, like I said, every set is different. This was just their policy. And again, look at what movie you're working on. This is a big deal. They do not want to take any kind of have there be any type of error when it comes to what they're shooting and what they are filming.
Your outfit and like your makeup, which it's just an 80s outfit. Like, this shows nothing about the film. It's not a big deal. Like, again, these sets act like it's like the end of the world.
She said it doesn't seem like it's a big deal. She's in the 80s. So basically right there, she just told us what and which part of the film she's in, which is in the 80s, which of course was like a huge pivotal point for Michael Jackson's career. So this could definitely been around maybe the thriller era or even the bad era. Either way, Michael Jackson was dominating the entire 80s decade. So it sounds to me like she's in a very pivotal part of the film. So yeah. But again, she's acting so nonchalant about it, talking about it's not the end of the world. How are you going to sit up there and say that? Again, their policy, their rules. Abide by it or get kicked out. That's all there is to it. And you know what? I wonder if Antoine Fuqua was going to see this and talk to his editor. If I was him, whatever scene that she's in, if she has any kind of screen time, edit it out. Edit it out. I would be that petty because she just proved right there that she has no significance whatsoever. None. Because I'm going to tell you something right now. If I was an extra in this movie, first off, I wouldn't be talking this early. I would wait until after a teaser dropped, and then I would start talking. I would probably do a whole live stream talking about what it was like working on that set. And I bet you my experience would be a whole lot different than hers. Something tells me that she's the cause, or maybe she was the issue.
If a photo gets leaked out of an extra, like, it's just so lame and corny. And they like heard my phone when I was like on set, and they're like, "You're going home" or whatever. And I don't know how I pulled this off, but I was like, oh, like, what? I don't understand. And then like I was like, "I'll be right back." And like went into my backpack, and I was like, and then I like it was like hundreds of people, so they like distracted by something else. I went and hid my phone in a crevice in the wall. And then I like went with my backpack, and I was like, "Where's the phone? I don't see it." And then they were like, "Well, we heard it." And I was like, "I don't see a phone." And I like played with it and kept my phone. And
so like right there, she broke the policy. She just admitted she broke their policy. And the thing is, typically they'll let you use their phone, but it would be typically when they're on break. And when break happens, that's usually like lunch. That'll be the only time you will probably be able to use your phone, like make a call or whatever the case may be. But you cannot talk about what you're doing because you sign a form. Like literally, they make you sign a form basically saying that you cannot talk about what it is that you're doing. You cannot say anything at all whatsoever. Of course, people are going to probably say something to maybe someone close and immediate, but then they got to make them say that, not say anything. But again, it's just best that you don't say anything at all. But they usually make you sign like a waiver of some sort. Hey, look, this is what you're doing. This is what you're working on. This is what you can and cannot do. And then again, it sounds to me like she broke the policy. And that's really all it boils down to. She should have just had the phone turned off. And here's the thing, she knew she was going to work on this film set that day. She should have told people around her, like her family, and said, "Look, on this day," because even on some days you might be an extra where you might work more than one day. It comes down to that too. Should have told her family members, like, "Look, I'm going to be busy this day or that day. Please, like, I can't accept any calls at this time. I'm going to be busy. If you have an issue, can you divert it this way?" That's all she had to do. It sounds to me like she didn't do that. Like she sounded like she had to be attached to that phone some way, somehow.
And the PAs, which are called production assistants, which is the lowest of the totem pole. I've also worked production. I've been a PA, set dresser, director, assistant director. And the PAs, it's a very hierarchical system. Why can't I say that word around? Anyways, you know what I'm talking about. And it's a very pyramid. And so like the PAs are treated the worst, then they treat the extras the worst. And there was this one in particular, they were so mean. There was like this one pretty mean girl that would just like glare at you for no reason. And there was this one, and I'm gay, by the way.
Okay. What did you having to be in the academy have anything to do with the story you're telling? She could have left that part out. Why did she feel the need to have to mention that she is in the academy? What does that have to do with anything? That was just a random insert for whatever reason. Let me continue.
There's one mean lesbian that was like, I don't know what her pronouns are. Maybe they were they, whatever. And they were so mean. They were like, "If you don't like this job, go work at McDonald's," which is like offensive to me. Like, fuck McDonald's was like offensive. It's just offensive on so many levels. Like, what's wrong with McDonald's? Are you saying that those people suck? And then they called us like animals, and we're just like, It was a horrible set. Then, like, I guess there was like an earthquake or something, or the lighting, because it was a huge soundstage with like huge lighting, because they were trying to, make it look like a huge Michael Jackson concert. And the lighting rigs, which are these huge, heavy things that could easily kill somebody if they fell, started swaying. And then they were like, no, everybody stay put. Everyone started to everybody started to panic and move. And I was like, absolutely not. I refused. They were wanted people to stay in where they were for continuity. And I was like, I am not staying over underneath. I'm getting paid. By the way, extras get paid minimum wage. I was like, I came here for because I'm desperate for money. I'm not gonna fucking die for minimum wage for a fucking Michael Jackson buyout. Fuck you.
Then why the fuck did you go there? I didn't mean to cuss. Then why did you go then? She said, well, she just actually said it. She said because she was desperate for money. And yeah, extras don't get paid that much. They really don't. It all depends. If you work more than one day, if you're fortunate to work more than one day, and if you get bumped up to a feature extra, you get more money. But she said she was desperate for money. So she just took this because she needed the money. This is why she's acting the way that she is. This meant nothing to her, but it meant something at the same time. Nothing in the sense of she could care less about being a part of this production, which I'm sure many people would die to be in, even if it's just for a couple of seconds. Yet she's speaking up here so nonchalantly, I don't need this. Then why the hell did you even go to the set? Why did you take the time to even apply to, or submit rather, yourself to become an extra for this movie? Because let me tell you what it's like when they ask for extras. Usually they will do a breakdown. They'll ask say for a man, they ask you have a certain age range, maybe a certain height or weight, a definitely demographic like white, black, maybe all ethnicities, and maybe submit a headshot or a picture or a resume if it's asked for. A lot of times when it comes to extras, they don't really ask for resumes. For a woman, it's the same thing. Or even for everybody, they'll say we're accepting all people from this age to this age, men and women, are basically, the same things that they would do if they were doing it gender based. Then if you get selected, then they'll ask you, not ask you, but then they'll send you the itinerary of, okay, you got to be here by this time to check in by this time, and you're going to be over here at this time, and you're just going to be sitting here and holding. Then you got to go there, sign the form, then go and just wait into the holding area until they call you. That's just a summary of how it is. It's a little bit more technical than that, but that's basically the summary of how everything pretty much flows. And she says she's worked on film sets before, and the thing is, every film set is different. This again is a big deal. This is a Michael Jackson biopic. This is probably one of the biggest things that she's worked on. So of course they're taking extra precautions. What it is she thinks that one set size fits all. She thinks, oh, I worked on this and this, so I'm working on this. Oh, this is going to be a breeze. Whatever I was doing over here, they for sure are going to allow me to do over here. No, that's not how this works. So now she's getting on here and she's airing out her grievances because she couldn't do what the hell she wanted to do. That's really all it boils down to. She's acting like a spoiled brat.
Anyways, I'm not going to be seeing the film, and I'm probably going to call the studio and complain. That was a while ago, but this still fucking pisses me off. And just
a while ago, meaning it was last year, because the movie filmed they filmed that movie for a minute. I think they started filming in January of last year, and then they wrapped in July. So it was a long filming process, 7 months. That's a long filming process. And then she said she's not going to see the movie. Okay, who gives a damn you're not going to see the movie? I hope they edit her part out. Then we won't see you in the movie.
In general, I've been on some good sets. I've been on some bad sets. But there's just people in Hollywood take themselves.
It's funny. She said she's been on good sets and bad sets, but this is the first time, as far as I know, because again, I don't know this one from a can of paint, that she's aired out her grievances. Ironically, this is the movie she's upset with. But she's been on bad sets before. So I'm guessing by her metric, this is the worst set she's been on.
Way too seriously. At the end of the day, you are playing pretend. You're not solving cancer. You're not doing
She says to not take it seriously. Oh my God, this woman is pissing me off because I know what it's like to work on these sets because I've been there before. As a matter of fact, the last time I was on a film set was, and I don't think I told anybody this, but it was the year before last, 2023. It was a Panera Bread commercial, and it actually featured a current active NBA basketball player. That's all I'm going to say. And it was a very intimate set. I liked it. It was very intimate. It wasn't a big set like a lot of people. And it, like, hey, we did what we had to do. It was a pretty laid back set, but it was still professional at the end of the day. And there was no issues, no complaints, none of that. So again, listening to this woman talk, I think the common denominator here is her. I think she was the issue. I guess we'll just have to see what anybody else has to say. If anyone else does say anything, I'm sure many people can't wait to talk about the experience on the set for those who did work up, because I mean, once in a lifetime opportunity. This is history in the making. This is a major Michael Jackson biopic. I mean, a lot of people will say the Jackson's American Dream, but that was more about the Jackson family rather than just Michael Jackson. And then it cuts off at a certain point, because again, that was still when Michael Jackson's career was still very much active, but they only went to a certain point. This biopic is covering from the inception all the way to his death. So it's a lot of ground to cover here. But hey, she says she's not going to see the movie. I'm sure they're not going to. I'm sure the box office is not going to miss your measly, $10, $15, how much a movie ticket is. I'm sure they're not going to miss it, because I'm sure that they're going to make, this movie is going to make over $1 billion. You not seeing that is not going to change anything. It's unfortunate though, because it's like, if you're in the movie, I would be there trying to see me, Of course, I'm gonna see the movie because it's Michael Jackson. It's a Michael Jackson fan. But if I was in that movie, I'm trying to scope out. Did they put me in there where I'm at? Oh, there I am. But this is her problem, as far as I'm concerned. This is an issue that she has, and that's just her cross that she's going to have to bear. But at the end of the day, before I end it off, she's the common denominator. She was the issue, and that's all there is to it.